The server merge details are finally here. Goodness, it took way too long to get this out. I'm gonna be 1,000,000% honest with y'all. I expected this 2 to 3 weeks ago so we could prepare a little bit more. So let's go ahead and get into the details. I know you are ready for them, and I'm gonna talk about some important things as well to keep in mind for the server merge, just in case your servers are going to merge together, and what to expect, how to prepare, even though it is technically happening tomorrow, and then of course next week as well. But let's go ahead, get started. The first round of merges is happening on March 6th. That is tomorrow. And for Central Europe, of course, you can look through all of these. I am on NA East, and Zosma, which is my main roster, is merging with Una. Me and Cotty are fusing. It's official. But seriously, go ahead, look on here, see if y'all are merging anywhere. For me, I got pretty lucky. My servers are not merging because I have a roster on Zosma, on Azina, and Ezekiel. It would have been fine if it did, but we'll get into those details in just a second. And this is just the first round of merges on the 6th, okay? So go ahead, look through this, and I will link this article in the description below as well, so you can go ahead and read that, just in case I'm moving too quickly through some of these names. But on the 13th, they are going to make more merges, and for me, of course, specifically, I'm looking at NA East, and Ladon is also merging with Una, and somehow we are becoming Balthor. How did Zosma, Una, and Ladon, aka Echidna, merge to form the little dwarf Balthor? Okay, anyways, I can't believe Zosma, the great Zosma Balls, is becoming Balthor. What are we, Balthor Balls now? I don't know, guys. Anyways, let me know what you think about that down in the comments below. What should the new nickname be? I don't know, man. I don't think Balthor Balls is gonna go over too well. We're gonna have to get creative. In terms of these servers merging for everyone, this is good news, especially if you only have one roster, okay? Because now you're going to be able to log on to your server and it actually feel alive again like it was in the beginning of the game. That is such a good feeling. I can tell you this from personal experience. Zosma is dead as hell, and whenever I get on that server, it's literally like I'm playing the game with 2 other people, and sometimes I see him around. But when I log on to Azina, it is stacked. There is people everywhere for everything. You can always do a public event. You don't ever have to worry about it. It is similar to when the game started. There's just people everywhere. Now, in terms of people whose rosters are merging, maybe you're not so happy, maybe you are happy. I'm going to talk about how this is going to work a little bit so you don't necessarily have to read everything through this, because I've done a pretty good amount of research on it, because I was a little bit concerned that my rosters were going to merge. So I looked ahead quite early as to what I could expect. As you can see here, they have different categories. They'll max certain things, they'll take the minimum value of certain things, they'll sum it, they'll put it on a union, which will be cumulative, but the duplicates will be removed, or they might just reset the system, whatever it is, when your rosters merge. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, as far as your characters and character slots, from what I can understand, basically you are going to have, let's say for example, you have 6 character slots, the standard 6 character slots, and you have 2 rosters, okay? Let's say the second roster has 3 characters on it. Well, if your servers merge together, then you are going to essentially have a universal storage of characters. You're going to have a character storage, quite literally, that you can, at any point during the week, take one of those characters out of your storage and put it in one of those first 6 character slots. You don't get extra character slots, okay? But you can trade out those characters within or from your character storage. Now, as you can read here, when a character from the universal character storage is moved to the roster and designated for gold, it will become bound to one of those 6 spots once a gold earning activity is complete. Okay, so it's going to be locked in for that week, but after the weekly reset, then you can move it back to character storage. So that's kind of how that will work. So if you earn gold on that character, it's going to be bound to one of those 6 slots. Now, in terms of currency, this is a big one. Everything will be put together. It is the grand sum total. So you don't have to worry about gold, silver, anything like that. It all gets merged together. So that is a very good thing. I'm glad that they're doing it like that. Engravings and cards. So the engraving effect, the higher level of engraving points will be retained. Okay, if the levels are the same, the progress will be summed, but it's kind of a no diff because the levels are the same, right? For the cards, this is a big one. So on the card book, it will include the sum of all cards from server A and server B with any duplicates removed. All the remaining cards are moved into the universal storage so they can be attained again as needed. But here is the kicker, guys. Okay, so as far as card enhancement, like if you have 4 awakenings on a certain card on one roster and 2 awakenings on the other roster, it is going to take the max value, which is the 4 awakenings. So all of those cards that you put into the other book's awakenings with only 2 awakenings, that just kind of gets nullified and it's gone. If I were you, over the next week or so, and this is very sudden, all right, so it is kind of a letdown a little bit, but if I were you and your servers are getting merged like on the 13th, you can't do a whole lot about it now if they're merging tomorrow. If they're merging on the 13th, on the lower roster, I would not consume those cards. Leave them in your inventory, okay? Do not right click on them. Leave them in your inventory. That way, when the servers merge, it's still in your inventory, and then you can consume those cards after the servers merge, and it will go towards, of course, your total cards for that enhancement or that awakening. All right, guys? So that's kind of a big one there. As far as roster and roster XP, the value with the roster with the highest level in XP will remain. The other one will not. You can read through here for a couple of other things. The roster storage is the sum. So all the stuff that is in your roster storage is going to remain in there. And if it's too much stuff to combine, it will go to your universal storage instead. And of course, you can just pick it out of your universal storage and put it in there. And quite obviously, your character storage of what is all in that individual character's inventory and their storage, it will remain in there regardless of the merge. Okay, so it's going to stay in there, and you can move it however you would like. For adventure tome stuff, you can go ahead and look through this. Same thing with collectibles and rapport. For ships, same thing, not too big of a deal. I really wanted to just cover the cards and the currencies because those are the big ones. As far as the storage, like I said, everything will be summed together, so that's a good thing. You're not going to be losing anything at all. So if you've been gathering all of the event boxes and not using them for the materials on your lower account or on your lower roster, and those get combined, you're just going to get a load of free mats basically, and any other odds and ends, guys, you're definitely going to be able to find it here. But the cards and the currency, those are the biggest things I want to cover. In the character storage, the new universal character storage, which is something that we have not had any experience to, so that's was kind of an interesting thing I wanted to cover a little bit. But they are happening tomorrow and the 13th, guys. Holy moly, it's happening right now, but I'm super excited for it. And guys, if you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. Maybe I can help, maybe I can't, but maybe other people in the comments will read it and they can help. Maybe some people from EU that have experienced something like this already with their server merges, they can help us out if you have any questions down below. So don't be afraid to ask, don't be shy. And guys, the next couple of videos that I'm going to be working on, I'm actually traveling for the next month and a half, or I'm traveling for one day, but then I'm going to be there for a month and a half. My setup's going to be completely different, so I got to get in the groove again once I arrive to that destination. So I might not have too many videos out in the next couple of days, but there are plenty in the works. So I'm going to show you what the road was like for that. I'm going to be talking about how to do more damage and actually figure out your class. And I'm not going to get too deep into it, but this is definitely going to be a unique video that you likely have not seen anywhere on YouTube yet. This one's been cooking in the oven for a little while because I really wanted it to be extremely beneficial for every single person that plays this game. So be on the lookout for that. I've got a couple of extras in the oven as well. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Or if you just like Lost Art content, also consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to see you around more. And I hope everyone has an absolutely fantastic day. Bye-bye.